Hi everybody, Eddie here. Just letting you know that I'm taking a break from podcasting over the next 3 or 4 weeks. But don't worry, I've got your podcast needs covered. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be taking highlights, extracts from the podcast extras behind that Patreon paywall. So give you a little taste of what we talk about behind, in those Patreon episodes. I hope that is also an incentive for you to sign up because I'd be really appreciative. This week we are talking about talking with Charlotte Woolwich and Acoustica Photography. Where it came from that point and but your own point and click episode. So we talk about more about the process of taking photos. I think and how we prepare for Comic Con, and then following that, which is a coincidence, a really coinky dink episode. It was the unscripted with Tessagara Cosplay and Nell, where we talk about the I think my process of like booking a photographer at Comic Con, and then back in the day with Jem Zamir and what's her name cosplay, we were talking about back in the day, and I think we mentioned about favorite cosplays that you cosplay memory that you have from the bygone days, years. I don't know. Anyway, look, clearly I'm in holiday mode. I'm going to be, like I said, being put out some of these over the next few weeks. Hopefully we get back to the normal program sometime soon. So I'll catch you guys soon. Bye! As I mentioned on the podcast, I want to talk, because I didn't get much to talk about in that podcast. Someone else seemed to take over the hosting role, Amy. Just in case anyone who hasn't been aware. This relates to a podcast called but all you do is just point and click with my guests of Charlotte and Amy of Acoustica and Charlotte of Charlotte Woolwich Photography. And yeah, we were just talking about things, and I thought, do you know what we've been talking about different things about, like how did I start it off? It's like, what's the perception, what people thought about photography, what goes into your kit, but why do you have those things in your kit? It's because it's based on experience. And then what are we self-taught? Are we do we go to classes, things like that? But the one thing I want to mention is like it's still linked to experience of like the point and click notion, is that I want to know what you do to prep for Comic Con from different people, because I seem to be the only one that does it this way round, which I don't know why, because I think like this is the most logical thing to do. So the process now is, and I'll start off first, and I'll let Amy and Charlotte come after me, come after me with your judgment. No, I start off by, as Charlotte would say, it's the admin right at the start. So I've not even thought about who I'm shooting, because I need to know who I'm shooting in the first place. I've realized how organized I need to be in my life. So I now do a booking system, and I used to do it through Facebook, and I would take people's name, put it into my calendar, this and the other. But I'm now using an online app called Calendly, which you can just get people to sign up, fill in a form, bam, it's all done. So it's now very seamless now for me. So I wish I'd known this about 5 years ago. Life would have been so much easier. Based on that list of those who sign up, I will then look at their cosplays. They need to tell me their cosplay. That's very important for two reasons. One, I know what you look like. And two, based on the characters there, I will look up that character on Google and get about 6 photos, maybe 8, just make at least 6, maybe 1 more, 2 more, just for a variety of poses I like from that character. From that explains to me what their character's like, what persona it is, type of thing, and maybe can we experiment, things like that. And we don't have to get it exactly like, but another reason for it is because I'm really bad at explaining poses to people. So I think Charlotte will jump in later and say to me, "Yeah, you do this." I kind of like do the poses so that the person in front of me goes, "Oh, that's how you want to edit." Okay, I will do that. Like I'll stick my hand up in the air behind my head, tilt the head, pop the hip out, things like that. I'm actually, pardon?
It's wonderfly camp. I love it.
We were doing this when we were at the Sanctum Symposium.
Yeah. But I love it though. It's helpful.
No, but yeah, because I feel like visually, if you can see what you're seeing, you can replicate that, and things like that. So that's kind of how I do. And then, like I said, we were saying in the podcast, afterwards, I will just edit them I will go for. I'll try to do it probably on the day after of Comic Con, and go through every photo and say, I want to edit this, 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 and I'll do about minimum of 6. Those I've booked with. Anyone that was just, catch me on the go, it'll be 3. I will go through them all and pick the ones, and then I'll leave it about a week or so because I feel like I need fresh. I'm on adrenaline high. My mind's all over the place, and I need probably a break just to go right. I just need to step back and go. Give me a break. Let me just collect my thoughts, and when I go back to it, I go, cool. I've got fresh energy. I might have a different way of like seeing that photo, how I initially see it, and then start editing.
Okay.
Thank you. But I just want to is there anything that I've said that you've gone, oh, I might actually take that upon now? I might actually.
No, I've pretty much do, as you said, the same system. I've done it for years now, purely because I got to the point where I was photographing things that I didn't want to photograph and ended up not loving. So I'm similar to you. I have a sign up form. Mine's done through Google Sheets, and on there, it has my like sign off waiver and everything. So once you complete it, it signs off the model release form. So it's all contained in one. But I have like all my time slots are on there, so people can pick like what times they prefer, roughly, if they want. They have to give me their handle if they have props or any other sort of commissions. I would love to know who they are, so that I can also give credit when I'm sharing photos myself. I also request that they give me either work in progress pictures and or pictures of characters, and like shows and stuff like that. And then, as I said, I've got my model release forum and my waivers, stuff like I'm trying to get more into filming just because of content. So I get into filming quite a lot now. So that's also part of my my forum. And what happens is once I get them all in, I vet them because, as I said, a lot of the times people will do costumes that I may not know. Like, for instance, Critical Role. Don't listen to it. Don't know much about it.
Yeah.
So it's not often that I will reject a Critical Role one, because as a photographer, you kind of want a little bit of variety. Like, I know everyone loves Critical Role, so of course I'll pick up a Critical Role person every now and again. I don't know it, but at least I can have eyes on my work if I do pick certain characters like that. But often than not, I will vet everyone and say, right, I love that character. I want to photograph X, Y, and Z. And then I'll go through, see if I can line up people into times that will suit everyone. And then go back to each one of them as my like precursor to a convention, because I like a schedule, because then it gives me like a little bit of peace of mind. So anything outwards of that is like free time, and it will make sure as well, because I'm terrible, and I'm sure you guys must be the same. I forget to eat and drink and sit down and have a break.
And drink at Con.
Yeah. Well, I put that in my timetable. So I'll say for the first 3 hours I'm shooting with these 3 people, and then I'll literally write break and give myself like a half-hour break, and then I'll do like lunch and give myself like a 45-minute lunch, because I'm so bad at that.
No,
and it's got to that point where people get sent to me with like food and drink, because they'll be like, oh, have you seen Amy? No. Well, here's the food and drink. You're going to go shoot with her now, aren't you? And then they'll appear with food and drink, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? Feed him more to himself.
I was just gonna jump in and said I also get given food and things like that, but I just want to go back to say, you don't know anything about Critical Role. Let me tell you something. I think there's an up and coming game that you might want to keep an eye out. It's called, hang on, let me just get this right, Genshin Impact.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to encounter those characters. You may never see them actually. Do you know what? Forget what I've just said.
I've actually been really lucky and only done 2 Genshin Impact people. Yeah.
I feel like I've done.
I mean, none of them were conventions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I think I've done quite a few Genshin Impacts, which I don't mind. I love the characters, but yeah. But it's quite interesting. You said, Amy, you do 1 hour slots. I do about half an hour slots, but I don't fill up the whole half an hour, which is quite.
Yeah, so normally, like when I first started doing it and I was really inexperienced and everything, and like knowing how I work, I used to do half-hour slots, and I realized that I like to faff, I like to walk around. So that's when I started adding a bit more time. So I give an hour to each person, but I don't tend to do the full hour. So it gives me time to walk back somewhere or go to the toilet or have a break or whatever. I get 15 minutes to sit down somewhere. But I like that because I like the idea of not having to rush. So in my mind, yes, I've given you an hour.
Yeah.
I'm never ever going to fill that hour, but then it means that I can take my time. My brain's not going like a million miles an hour. Oh, where do I have to run off to now? Who do I have to go see? And at the end of the day, that also helps me pace my backlog. So I know I'm not shooting, I don't know, 100 people and they're not going to see any of this for 6 months or something like that. It kind of anything to limit the like mental strain of not even taking the photos. It's after the fact.
Yeah.
So I love working to a timetable. So
Yeah,
that's why I
absolutely.
give an hour.
No, that's right. It's really interesting. Charlotte, what about you? Because I don't know how you do your like timetable. Because don't take this wrong way when I say this. Also, I just realised, you know what you didn't do in the main podcast.
I did it right at the beginning.
What?
I did. I said
Oh.
hire me right at the beginning.
Oh, damn it! I missed.
Probably about 2 minutes in, and I was like, Eddie hasn't heard this, and when he's going to go back, he's going to be like, "Shit, I saw it."
Oh my god! I'm gonna keep this bit in because I was gonna get you to record it and I was gonna shove it in there.
Okay, you know what? Right at the top of the podcast, I'm Charlotte Ulrich Photography. Fucking hire me. There you go. Boom. If you can't find the other one, whack that in randomly in the middle. You're welcome.
I might actually do just whack in the middle and see if anyone pays attention.
This podcast is not sponsored by me because I'm not yet rich enough. So hire me, and then I will sponsor this podcast.
Oh dear Lord, Charlotte,
likewise, please.
I don't know because I think you're the type of person which I feel like a lot of other photographers are like that. People are friends with photographers, and because you're in that same friends list, you tend to like they book you that way. Am I wrong or
you are wrong?
Oh, okay.
It's not like I don't like that. It sound I know what you mean. It sounds insular when you say it like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of prep for con, I'd always standard like make sure you've got all the gear, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the reason that I'm maybe slightly different to how you guys do it is because but I literally my whole thing at cons and the thing, even when I'm being more selective with people I know, my like bottom line is like if you are brand new to Comic-Con, you can come up to me. You don't have to go through all the admin stuff that might scare you, stress you out. You don't want to, and because a lot of people have said to me they don't want to approach me because you're bigger than me or whatever. Walk up to me at Comic-Con and ask for a picture right then and there. So I do, and I used to book slots. And there would be like 20, 25-minute slots of everyone. And then I just had so many people who hadn't booked come up to me. I was like, look, it's actually going to be easy. And I couldn't find the booked people because if you haven't been to London, it's mad. People can't get in on time. There's queues for everything. So now what I do, and I don't recommend this to anyone. It's fucking stupid. I love it. And I also just think that, like, just put me down. Right. So I basically say, come and find me. If I'm in the trees, ask me for a picture and you can have a picture. And so it's very freeform. And there are some people that I'll ask beforehand for like photos and stuff. And I used to that every time. But I now trust myself enough to say, you can show me a picture like right then and there, or tell me a few keywords about your character. And I trust, without sounding pretentious, I know I can take a good picture of your character because my brain works fast enough in that department that I don't need the prep. If I do the prep, it wouldn't work for me. So, yeah, there's less planning in terms of that. I'm slightly changing it up now. I'm like basically mentally booking out like hour-long sessions where I'll find someone or I'll have a friend that I know is wearing a costume I want to shoot. And I'll say, 2 hours, you're coming with me, we're shooting this. And if other people ask me during that time, I'm like, I'm just shooting my friends right now, come find me in an hour. But so yes, it is chaotic, it is tricky, it's really not for everyone. But when I'll be quick, I promise.
No, carry on. I'm intrigued.
I feel like this is so dull.
I think it's interesting.
Because when I started cosplaying, I was quite like shy, but obviously I wanted pictures of my cosplay, and it wasn't that good. And I know it wasn't that good, but I still wanted some pictures of like me and my friends. And I would have died to have like a professional photographer with the quality of work I've now got take my picture for free at a con, give me a couple of spend that 20 minutes with me, making me feel like I'm the main character, I'm special, this shoot is for us, we're going to make some cool content, you feel at ease, the photographer shows you the back of the camera, like dream shoots. And all I want to do, without sounding pretentious, all I want to do is give that to as many people as I can.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, is it gold dust when you find photographers that will spend the time with you and work to your level of shyness or your level of ability or your level of, ability to move, etc., character, wishes, whatever you want. So I want to be that like versatile, come to me, we'll do what you want for 20 minutes and you'll walk away feeling like, oh my God, I've now got professional level pictures of whatever my cosplay looks like, because it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day I'm taking pictures of you. And like that's kind of why it's so chaotic, but I love it, because I've had people tell me afterwards that I've done that exactly. They were like, that was the high point of my con, that you shot our cosplays. Can't wait to see the picture because you just took the time to shoot with us and you didn't make us feel rushed. And that is literally all I want to do at cons. So whilst I look super panicked when I'm rushing around, it's just because when I'm in the shooting situation, I'm shooting that person. So yeah, but don't do that. Jesus Christ, it's not healthy. and God bless the people that offer me coffee.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God, yeah.
Because I think I did a statistics a while ago. I'll find it, Freddie. But I think I went inside the con hall like 2 or 3 years ago, literally for 45 minutes all weekend.
Yeah.
And I had like maybe like 2 meals over 4 days. And at the end of it, I was like, I can't do that again. Nearly killed me. It wasn't funny. Like, it genuinely wasn't. I hadn't noticed at a time, but I got to Monday morning, I was like, I don't feel well. So now I do, like, mentally, I'm better at being like, look, I would love to shoot with you. Give me 10 minutes to grab a sandwich, and then I'm all yours.
No, that's fine. And I don't know what goes through my mind, but I see other people do it. Like, I don't, like I said, I don't know if the way I do it is it's weird or different. I know it's different.
What, your booking system? Or?
Booking system was with research, because I feel because I don't know every character in the world. Like,
no,
in
and your
every
interests will be different as well.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And like I always say, cosplay should actually know what poses they want to use when they're gonna shoot. But 4 out of 5, 4 out of 10, 5 out, half probably don't have many poses or any poses at all. Especially if you're doing, like I said, a drive-by. Not a drive-by shooting, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. That was such a dirty laugh. Jesus Christ.
That was so dirty.
I know.
Is it? Are you the one buying that Hitler game?
Probably. I hit enter on that search, Oh God,
dear God! But yeah, no. I just look at others and I go, why don't I think I kind of think, why don't you do what I do? I think that's what I'm coming from.
I think and this is literally just down person to person. Yeah. I am really good at seeing something and suddenly being like, oh my God, I've got an idea instantly, let's do it. If I like sit and mull over stuff for too long, I get bored and it becomes static. I need that, and you know what? It's probably my ADHD, let's be honest. But in that moment, I will get like complete clarity, and I'm like, I know what you mean, I know what you want, we're gonna do it. And I like that energy. It like keeps me going through con. So but that's again just because I would love to book and I will plan certain shoots. Of course I will, like the bigger ones and the bigger cosplays I'm shooting with. I'll plan, lighting and shots, but like that spur of the moment, boom, boom, boom. I know I'm good at communicating. I know I'm good at understanding what people want. So like I enjoy it. Whereas for some people that's just not viable. Like whether or not you want to, for some people that's just not how your brain works, and that's absolutely fine. And then the research side of that gives the exact same confidence to the cosplayer at the time, because you're delivering the same thing, just in like you've just done a different planning process together.
No, it's fine. It's
because I've shot with you and we shoot very similarly, but we do the admin and we edit very similarly, but we do the admin very differently, which is interesting if you think about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I look at your photo and I do think there are some similarities that I've picked up on, but there's your style is different to mine. I don't think if you put similar, if we took the same cosplayers and put them side by side, I think you can tell they're both whose is who, but at the same time go of it is similar style. So yeah,
Which is
uh,
what's lovely as well. And I think the
mm.
similarities between our pictures is that I'm in both of them because I'm a narcissist.
Amy, are you sure you want to be friends with this person? I'm
know.
so
Shoot me, I look great, I promise.
I'm so sorry I introduced you to this person.
Any character I do, I will turn up as Cos Expo as that, please.
Jesus Christ.
No.
I think this is going to be the most unhinged for me because Cos Expo, I haven't planned anything, and that goes against everything for me.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Does that make you nervous?
A little bit, because I'm kind of worried that I would not do my best for people. And I think that's my problem. It's not like if someone gives me, this is the character I'm doing, I don't research that character per se. I just kind of go, okay, that's the look and that's the show. So now I understand who I'm looking for. So I don't tend to go on like Pinterest and make mood boards or anything like that. It just gives me an idea of what I'm looking for and what costume that person's doing. Whereas for Cos Expo, it doesn't seem like the norm to do that, to book in with people and like arrange stuff. So I've put out feelers where I'm like, these are the things I'm looking for to photograph, but I know on the day I've not like booked times, I've not booked slots, so I'm just going to try and be more of like a loosey goosey. So
I think
kind of
Expo is a good one to do that at, because I've actually only been to one before, but from what everyone said, because it's in like the gardens and stuff, it's less of a convention center and more like, because you're going to shoot with people on a more location shoot style, it's easier to just kind of grab someone and go, would you shoot, than the full planning, because from what I've seen, it's like it would probably be quite hard to schedule stuff.
Yes, yeah. And it's the same concept that I did for VenCon as well, because I went there and not booking any shoots with people and ended up being like shot with a lot of people. And then they will find me later on Instagram. So like I'll be like, oh, this is my Instagram, follow me or whatever, and I'll try and get your photos back to you. And when people then put two dots together being like, oh god, you're that photographer that does that, is kind of like a weird sensation, because I'm so used to people like knowing who I am beforehand. And it's kind of, I don't know, is that kind of like a weird little like Easter egg for people?
No, I get that from time to time. When people go, oh, can I shoot with you? And I either get one or two responses, but the second, like basically they go, oh my god, you're Ed. Oh my god, thank you. Oh, I follow your work. I love your work. Oh, that's good. That's fine. It's like when I then take their photo and then go, they don't like, they glaze over and go, I don't know who you are. As soon as they find out who I am, go, oh my god, you're the, oh my god, oh my god. They lose their shit and go, okay, I'm just a man. Jesus Christ, I'm just a person.
I am just a man.
I am just a man. But I think I think from a personal point of view, and I know it's slightly narcissistic, I do get very butthurt when they just go, oh, okay. It's like,
oh really? Do you not know who I am?
Do you not know who I am? And I know I shouldn't be like that, but that's how I think.
Oh my god, I like aspire to be that person at some point. Because nobody knows who I am.
it's you've got to get yourself a niche. So you've clearly got, from this podcast, you've got the like Scottish unicorn niche, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't cosplay as a Scottish unicorn now, what are you doing? I feel like people kind of know who I am, because they're like, why the fuck is she cosplaying and doing photography? Why is she? I always get people, they're like, why are you taking photos today? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, you're in like a gown with a train that's like 3 meters. I'm like, yeah, but I'll just pick it up, so it's fine.
Oh my god.
So that's like my niche, and then Eddie's niche is like, he literally knows fucking everyone and everyone.
I don't know everyone.
Everyone is like, oh yeah, you know Eddie. I'm like, yeah.
Fuck's sake! I'm gonna end this part of the extra now, because I feel like this is now turning into let's shit on Eddie when he.
No, people genuinely do know who you are.
Oh, no, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they do.
You've got your own podcast. You can't sit on your own podcast and go, oh, no one knows who I am.
There's only like 30 people that listen to this.
30 people.
That's 30.
There's only going to be 5 people that's going to listen to this podcast extra.
And those people are lucky and should hire us.
That's 3 you've put in there in this whole podcast.
You are gonna put more than 3 in. Just can we
You'll
have?
get a
Can I have a
candy.
compilation of some point? Whoever's listening, just make a compilation of all the times I've said it and set it as Eddie's ringtone.
Nick, you're. I know you recently signed up, so you have to go back to all the podcasts,
Nick,
listen to all the ones that Charlotte's been on, and just tell me when I need to cut them, and I'll do that. And
yeah, because I genuinely had someone the other day come up to me. I've told Eddie this, but someone came up and went, "I was listening to Eddie's podcast, and I thought I was really worried you weren't going to say hi to me, but then you said it towards the end, and I was like, is it that much of a thing that if I don't say it, I'm like not the real me?" And it's got, and now I feel like really not self-consciously. Now I'm like, oh, I do want you to hire me, but it sounds so pretentious, and yet I have to because otherwise I might not be real.
Talk about the welfare check, like a proof of life. Oh, is she being forced to say things? Oh, she said hire us. Like hire her. Right? No, she's fine. She's fine. And basics about my MCM schedule. So just to full explain, I will put out a calendar invite, shall we say, to say I'm going to be at this event. It's always going to be at MCM London because it's the one venue I'm very confident shooting and knowing about 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. I know I'm going to find the places to shoot at. I know, if I see your cosplay, right, we're going to shoot here. Oh, you got that cosplay, we'll shoot down there. Places like that. That's why I'm very comfortable doing that at MCM London. MCM Birmingham, I feel like it could be in 2 places. I'll never know where it's going to be until the last moment, and then a lot of my plans go out the window. So that's why I mainly do it from MCM London. I will set out times, half-an-hour blocks for people to book me. Now, I used to do this manually where people would DM me, tell me their costume, their times, and whatnot. And I would have manually to put it all in. I've now found a service called Calendly where it does it all automatically for me. Oh my God, it's such a revolution. Oh my God, I love it so much. I literally just sit and watch notifications come through, and that's all I need to do. Absolutely love it. I do set myself time for lunch, so people don't need to worry about me having lunch, because I do have it. It's fine. But I kind of... I don't know... I feel like more photographers should do this.
I think it would be a good idea.
Yeah, it would be good in the sense of, right, so I like a structured day. I like to know who I'm shooting with and what I'm shooting, so that one, I can do some research, mainly because I want to know what you look like. Because you may say, oh, I'm a character from Neo Automatica, I'm 2B. Cool. Which version of 2B? There's like a few versions out there. Yep. And then I want to know what poses are good for it, things like that. So I do that research. And then I used to do it about 2-3 months before the event in the early days of Food and Cosplay. Oh my God, do you know what I just found out the other day, which really, really saddens my heart?
What?
FNC, the acronym of Food and Cosplay, or no, the "and" should be the A, but not N. But anyway, I call it FNC because
Food and Cosplay.
Yeah, there we go. That acronym is also the same for Fox News Channel.
Oh, time for a rebrand.
Yeah. When I saw that in acronym on, I was watching like one of the YouTube clips they're talking about Tucker Carlson, because I wanted to see his career burn, and I just went yes. But they put up the acronym FNC. I went, oh, what does that stand for? Oh God, a Fox News channel. Oh no. Anyway, as I was saying, I feel like I'm quite unique that I'm the only one that, if not the only one, a very few that does a calendar scheduling. A lot of photographers tend to go, come find me, we'll shoot, if I'm free, I'm free. I'm like, hang on, I don't know if I like that idea of just waiting around for a photographer to be free, and or vice versa, that a photographer's waiting for a cosplayer to be free. Because there's many times I stood there waiting for a cosplayer and gone, well, are you free, or are you about to run up to somewhere else? And that's happened to me many times where I'm about to say, oh, can I take your photo? I'm actually running to a bit different way. I went, okay, that's fine, no problem. Like, I can't stop them. I can't go, oh, it's only going to be a photo. Because in my mind, I know it's not going to be a photo. It's going to be more than one. And so I'm like, it's nice to have that structuredness. But I don't know. Do you think I'm a very old-fashioned by having a schedule? Or should I be a bit more freer with my scheduling? Because Doc, let's go with your point of view. Do you appreciate I have a schedule that you can book me? Because you just recently booked with me for MCM London in May 2023. So do you enjoy that experience, or do you prefer that actually you can just find me on the day?
I think it's easier to book because then you can kind of plan out your day of what you want to do on that day that you have that booking, rather than being like, okay, I'm going to spend from 10 till 11 on Sunday walking around looking for a photographer. So I think that it is more convenient. I don't mind doing that where people are like, just DM me and I'll tell you where I am and we'll shoot, sort of thing. I don't mind that either, but I do prefer having a booking system.
I mean, when you first discovered me, because I think you booked me before we met. I don't think we met beforehand.
No, I don't think we had.
So how did you first hear about my booking system, and did you think, oh, this is a bit of a faff, or oh, this is quite cool?
I think I followed you on Instagram because that was my main social network, still is, and I think you posted about it because I don't think we even had stories back in the old days. So I think you posted about it on your main feed, and then just followed the link, and it just seemed to make sense to me. I was like, this is a sensible way to do things. It's like, why doesn't everybody do this?
Yeah, but why? I mean, why do you think others don't? Well, I mean, I can probably talk from my point of view as a photographer's point of view. But have you asked other photographers, say, oh, do you not do schedules?
I haven't asked them. I presume it's just because some people don't like to be like constrained to certain times, and they don't like having a plan like that. They like to be more kind of impulsive.
Yeah.
But I think it does require an element of the cosplayer being confident enough to message you and say, I'd like to meet up and shoot at con. Whereas with a booking form, you don't have to have that conversation. It kind of takes that away a little bit. So I think people would be more likely to book if more people had those kinds of forms.
Fair enough. Now, you're special to me.
Am I?
Well, special as in you've never booked with me. All you do is hunt me down. I see you with the camo gear on, camo paint, camouflage paint, not camel, camo. So I can hear my slow speech thinking, oh God, am I saying camel? Camo, paint on, and you're hunting me down like the predator, clicking as you do with your teeth to find me just to take fun. No, you don't hunt me.
That's half the fun. Come on.
But what I want to ask you is there a reason you? Because I know you don't come to London anymore. Were you aware of my schedule beforehand? And if you were, is there a reason you didn't book with me?
I was only aware probably the last time that I went to London MCM, but generally I don't like having a schedule because I'm just quite chaotic anyway.
You're a chaotic fireball. You are definitely one of those.
Yeah, sometimes I just want to go over there, and sometimes I want to go to a panel, sometimes I want to see a guest, and I'll just, go by that wooded area. I say wooded area, it's like 2 trees, but outside the Excel Centre if I want to find a photographer.
Do you find it easy to find a photographer then, that in doing it that way?
Yeah, actually. The only place that didn't work out for me like that is Secret Con. And that one you really do need to book. Otherwise you won't get anyone.
I no pun intended, I secretly want to do a podcast about Secret Con because I think we've me and you and me now, we've you and me now. Me Nell and me.
Me now,
Me
you
now.
Eddie.
Nell and I.
Nell and I. Do you know what? I think that's what I was trying to get to, but my brain couldn't get there and couldn't work out why I couldn't get to that phrase. Anyway, with Nell and I,
Yeah.
we had spoken about it, and I do have opinions of it, but I feel bad that because I personally don't want to go to that event for personal reasons, but because I haven't gone to it, I feel bad about commenting on an event I've not been to. Yes, I can get guests on and talk about it from a cosplayer and photographer's point of view, but I feel like I can't. I'm judging it through my own preconceptions rather than I've been to this event, I was wrong, or I've been to the event, I was right.
Yeah, I think as a disabled cosplayer, having read some of the things that were said about the last Secret Con, it really put me off.
Yeah, and that's fine from your point of view, but without going to it, you can't really say, "Oh my god, they've done this." Well, that one time that happened, they may have heard those cries and go, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. We didn't think about that. We're now incorporating it into the next event."
Yeah.
You never know that. They can improve. They should improve. But, it's things like that. So, yeah. Okay, that's interesting to hear about Secret Con, that you do need to have a schedule. And I do appreciate that actually at Comic-Con you don't need to have a booking system. Like, as you said now, you literally do trip over photographers at a Comic-Con. And do you find it difficult to find? No, if I just ask that question.
Yeah.
Yeah, just ask. Look, it's 11:37 in the morning, all right? My brain is still booting up on a Sunday, okay?
Does it ever work on a Sunday?
Don't gaslight me like that. Don't gaslight me.
That's a no then.
It's the Lord's Day, and the Lord said you do not need to think.
And on the 7th day, he rested and recorded a podcast.
Can you imagine God doing a podcast? Hello, my subjects. Has everyone read the Corinthian passage 3a? I don't know how the Bible works. No, that is
never have guessed.
Hey, wait a minute. That's what the church do. They do a live podcast in church.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
God.
That's pretty much what church is.
Oh my God.
I was on a train on Monday, and the guard had a little bit of an accent, and so it sounded like every time he spoke, instead of him saying, "I am your God," it kept sounding like he was saying, "I am your God," and we couldn't stop laughing. It was so funny. "I am your God. It is your God speaking." It's so funny. Yeah.
All right. I know. It's quite interesting to hear both of you have, like, I wouldn't say opposing way of attacking Comic-Con, but it's nice. It's good to hear that there are people like now who are such a chaotic butterfly that, catch me if you catch me. If great, if not, don't worry about it. But there's people like Doc, including myself. We both want structured days. We both want structured. What's the word?
Programs.
Programs, timeline. To make sure that we know what we're doing during the day. I need that in my life. I was talking to someone about it, and they kind of made me realize how much I need a structured day in my life. It's like I thought I was like, now, like, I'm a free bird, flying in the air, things like that. But when we sat down and talked about it, I went, oh dear God, I really do like a structured day. Like, I plan everything out. I'm not saying to the nearest molecule of air, but I need to know that I need to leave at this time. I need to meet this person. I need to be at this spot. Cool, right? Like that type of structure. And it's like, oh my God, I'm a control freak. Shit, I'm a control freak. Fuck. So yeah, I know I'm not a control freak per se, but yeah, I like structure to my day. It's not like I think I do worry that my structured days at a Comic-Con, especially at MCM London, as I said, it's the only one I do it for. I do feel like I miss out on a lot of people who I wish, if I was walking around, oh God, sorry, ramen, king prawns, and Diet Coke just came up, just burnt again.
I thought you enjoyed that.
I did, but it's just a surprising taste. That's all. I'm not suggesting anyone do that. I'm just saying it's recurring on me. What was I saying? I do feel like I miss a lot of people when I'm like I'm sure I've missed you now at times when I've gone, oh, you're at this con. When did you appear? I would say I'd miss Doc, but I purposely avoid her as much as I can. Just oh, Doc's over there. Run away! Oh my God!
There is no escape. You can't run faster than me. I'm taller than you.
Doc, I hate to break this to you. Everyone's taller than me. That's not a flex.
True.
That is not even my nephew, who is 6-year-old, is probably taller than me. I can feel a crick in my neck. That's how much he's taller than me.
Obviously, the ramen and king prawn diet is not doing anything for your height. Get good.
Or maybe I should eat more of it and it'll kickstart. It'll just just. What the fuck is wrong with me?
You're just short. You can't help
I
it.
know I'm sure. I don't need to be told I'm sure. I always constantly look at the top shelf and go, the Holy Land, I wish I can reach that.
I
Yeah.
love the fact that there's an international short person throwing day. Just pick up a short person and throw them.
For anyone who's listening to this this on the podcast extra, please, I one, do not want to be turning up to that event. 2, be entered in it, or 3, be thrown. Okay.
Yeah, I think you do have to have a willing participant. I think you can't just grab a random short person and yeet them.
I don't know. I don't know if you can go. Excuse me, small sir. Can you just smell this cloth? Does it smell like chloroform? Myself and this short man would like to enter this competition. He looks chloroform. No,
He's just there sleepy.
he's just very sleepy. He doesn't. Don't disturb him. Just don't disturb him. He looks very chloroform. No. He needs to sign it. Yeah, I'll make him sign it. No, you holding his hand and the pen does not count. Yes, it does. But yes, I've not thought about this, honest.
No, clearly.
Oh Jesus! If yeah, I want to just close off the scheduling of this of my timetable. Like I do this because it does actually help me so much. Like I will say this: I'm not sponsored by them or paid by them, and I wish I was. Calendly, it's so good at like booking slots. It's so, if any photographers hear this, or if you hear photographers moan about going, I wish I had a way to like book people, Calendly is the way to go. It's free. You know, you can book, you can set up how you want it. You don't have to do it in half an hour blocks. You can do it like 10, 20s, 15, whichever number, even 33 if you want. No, probably not 33, but you know what I mean. You can specify the length you want, and it's so simple. I found it simple to use. I was able to integrate into my website, things like that. It's so good. So yeah, I just like using it. Anyway, look, we're going to talk about like our favorite Comic Con cosplay moments. I'm sure I've done a version of this, like like the summer break I take. I do like a cosplay stories, but I just thought we should do one ourselves here, and things like that. So, who shall I start? Gems has been talking, so I'll let Gems, not Gems, because I've just thought about Gems, so therefore Gems shouldn't go first. So therefore Beth should go first. Beth,
Hi.
hey. Can you think of a story or a moment or a memory that you've like think, oh my god, this, you know, I always talk about this forever and a day?
Oh god, my memory working in this economy.
I know the cost of living is hitting hard, but not your memory, right?
My guy, I am rocketing towards my mid-30s. Like, I don't remember shit.
I'm in my early 40s. Shut the fuck up.
Oh god, yeah, no, I forget you're like old.
Oh my god, that hurts.
In a roundabout way, she's saying she thinks you're young.
Yeah.
I know. I just realised as soon as she said that, but it's like, oh yeah. Go on, carry on.
I do just like to gently bullying you. I think there's quite a few like little bits where I'm just like, oh, that was really cool. That ended up being like, maybe it was like a little moment, but meant more further down the line. Like first time meeting a friend where I didn't realize, you know, you don't realize they're going to be a friend, and it's maybe someone you've like suddenly taken a photo with in a hall. Like, this was 2012, and I was dressed as First Avenger, like Captain America, like literally like the kind of World War II style outfit he went into to go rescue his mates. And I bumped into a girl who was dressed as like Iron Man. She made the suit out of foam, and we got a photo together. And I was like, oh, she's so cool. And I found her on Tumblr later on, and like actually we're still good friends. And like 10 years later, maybe no, it was 9 years later, I was a bridesmaid at her wedding. So like,
oh wow,
little things like that, which was pretty cool. Or even stuff like, for me, just low level competing, like a masquerade, has been like big things for me, because I think if you'd said in terms of like my self-confidence in that years ago, would you get up on stage in your costume and show off what you made, I'd be like, hell no, like I'm never going to be as good as my friends are. And I still don't think I am. And I get people that will send me really nice
it's because I'm big-headed, but it's not. People send me nice messages, go, oh, like, I really like your craftsmanship, or I really like this costume you made. And I'm there like, I'm catfishing all of you. Like, this isn't me. Like this, I can't make things. I can't make things that look nice. So having stuff like that and being able to get up and just walk along a little stage and be like, hey, look at this cool thing I made. I want to show it off to all of you. Like a 5-year-old running up with a bit of paper that they've scribbled on. And then someone goes, yeah, that was great. Here's a little certificate to say that all these other people liked your costume, these judges. And I'm like, oh, this is wild. So it's just little things like that. And I think just generally, overall, through the course of time, cosplay has done so much for my confidence, but also my skill set. Like, should an apocalypse come, I can make my own clothes. I mean, that's implying that I survive the apocalypse, and so does my sewing machine. But, you know, little things like that where I'm like, oh, yeah, like deciding 14 years ago to get into this silly little hobby now means, you know, it's kind of opened all these doors for me, like, skill-wise, but self-esteem-wise, and like I said, even friend-wise, like most of my close friends I've met through this hobby. I'm like, oh, dang. Like, I think it's just like, it's more of an overall collection of little moments that have, like, come together to end up being bigger life decisions rather than, like, one core memory, if that makes sense. I feel like I didn't answer the question properly, but I was like, I want to show how much this is all kind of meant further down the line rather than
it's not about
big
how...
moment.
Yeah, it's not that the one moment itself is what's made you thankful. It's the knock-on effect that your friendship you've gained has and opened up, and then the, you know, like you said, the skill sets that you've learnt and things like that. No, I totally understand that. Yeah. Just that I like I said, I've seen you like grow from that annoying little bitch to a still annoying
to a big little bitch. Yeah.
No, just still a little bitch, but they can actually, you can make your own costume. The fact that, like, I look at, you know, when I'm on Twitter and I see your progress of outfits that you make, I go, do you know what? I'm going to retweet that. So I want people to see that there is a progress, there's a story, there's a narrative that how a costume is being made through, you know, through not just through days, not through weeks, but through months. You know,
I
like you said,
always love showing the works in progress, like, because there's a lot of accounts I follow where all of a sudden a big costumes comes out of nowhere, and I'm like, yeah, but how did you make that? And then also it just means I can look back at it later, and like the first time I made Belle from Beauty and the Beast, her blue outfit was like 2016, and it's now gone through like 3.5 iterations, and now I've made her ball gown, and I'm looking back at it like, wow, I can actually track all my progress. Like, that's wild.
No, absolutely, and yeah, it's really nice to see that change over time. So yeah.
So I owe you money now for being nice to me.
Look, I love this narrative when people think if I'm being nice to someone, going, "What's wrong with you, Ed?"
Yeah, what do you want, Eddie?
Can you appear in my podcast, please? Oh man. No, James, what about you? What can you, now you've had time to listen to someone else like talk about their favourite moment, or favourite memory, or just a memory? I mean, have you thought of one that you'd like to share?
Well, I've already shared 100 times the Suicide Squad group one, so
Yeah.
But again, it's again what my friend said. It's just the little moments and like the little like friendships and that have popped up. One of my favourites in the past couple of years since pandemic, Mimi Stitchcraft, Miranda. We just met each other. I was Tisea, she was Yennefer, and we just like literally pointed at each other and screamed and ran up to each other. And it's just been one of the best, most recent like online friendships I've had, and she's really been supportive of my cosplay, and I've been supportive of her. She's made some amazing Lord of the Rings stuff. Yeah, and Arwen, I always get confused because I'm not into Lord of the Rings, but I think it's Arwen.
I think I know who. Oh,
yeah,
really? I think I know who
yeah,
you mean.
Arwen's
Seeing
amazing.
her embroidery.
Oh
like,
yeah,
yeah, dang.
Yeah, she's so nice. So that's really lifted my spirits, and she supported me through my Yennefer build, which I'm still not happy with. I need to fix it, but yeah,
we are our own worst critics, I think, as well.
Yeah, that was the bad crunch. Not as bad as the Agatha crunch. That was awful. I got 2 hours
You
sleep.
say that, but both of those costumes of yours look phenomenal. But obviously that's from me looking at it from a different perspective to you.
Yeah, I fixed Ag for a bit now because the waistband didn't fit right, but yeah. And another thing I found recently that I'm enjoying with cosplay, so my partner Steve's getting into it. I still don't really, I'm in the process of making his Yaskier, which I promised him last year because we went to do Yen and Yaskier together. But for Star Wars, I had no time to make him anything, so this time he bought some stuff from those Chinese sites I was on about earlier. But he had time of life at Celebration, just walking around the mountain. It was so cute, and seeing him get really excited, and he's wanting to get some more costumes together. The other day he went to me. He said, "Oh, I think I'll get a Corazon from Oxventure, the D&D show we watched. I'm going to get a Corazon costume together for MCN." And I'm like, it's a couple of weeks. How are you going to get a full pirate costume in a couple of weeks when I'm not going to be able to help you? But he's determined to do it because then they're actually doing a live show there. So I was like, okay, I've created a monster. He's crunching already.
Oh no.
Beth, are you going to drag your partner into cosplay?
Oh god, no, he never would. It's not his thing. My ex got into cosplay because of me, and it was nice. Don't get me wrong, it was really nice doing couples cosplay with her. But also then the additional stress of like I didn't only have to get myself ready in the mornings, I was getting her ready and helping her learn to craft and helping her sew things. It felt like I was doing double the work, which wasn't her fault. She was a total beginner and I offered the help. I love helping people. But I'm glad that my other half doesn't want to get into cosplay. And as we were mentioning on the main podcast, you were saying like, is the thought of people coming up to you and taking your photos weird? It's never been that weird to me. I'm always like, oh my god, yeah, sure, like take my photo. I always see it as a compliment. And it's not been since he's come with me to the past couple of MCMs that he's quite protective over me just in general. Not in like an overbearing way, but in a like when I was walking around as Anne Boleyn in like a PVC fishnets, very short skirt and a crop top, he was more aware of creepy stares than I was. But he found the whole thing that like strangers were taking my photo really weird. And the fact that I was totally fine with it. Whereas if someone walked up to me in the street normally, was like, "Can I take your photo?" I'd just be like, "Piss off." But he found that odd. He was like, "So that random bloke with a camera is just like taking your photo," and I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You're not worried what they're going to use it for?" And I'm like, "They're probably going to put it on their Flickr account and just it'll be a collection of convention photos." I'm like, I'd hope if they wanted to do something nefarious with it, they'd at least like pay me, you know. But like, I don't know. Like for me, it's total normal. Like, oh yeah, cool. This total stranger wants to take my photo, pose for 10 seconds, and I never see them again. That's so normal to me. But for him, he was like, what the heck? Like, this is weird. He's not. You know, he enjoys the conventions for coming with me, but MCM he does find very like overwhelming the sheer amount of people. Yeah. So for May at the end of this month, maybe it's May all month. You know what I mean? MCM at the end of this month. Yeah. He's only coming on the Friday. The Saturday was a definite no-go. It was far too busy for him. And Sunday he's gonna see how he feels. But he's only got a Friday ticket at the moment. And I'm fine with that because I was like, it's not a requirement to dating me that you have to cosplay and come to conventions. I was like, if you want to come, that's great. I was like, I love having you there in your company. I was like, but I know this is my thing and like my hobby and my passion, and it's the one like situation where I'm happy to be in a really busy hall full of like noisy people rather than like general. So yeah, I don't remember what the question was now.
No, that's fine. No,
sorry. The amount of tangents I have gone off on today, and it's like it's partially probably somewhere on the ADHD spectrum, and then possibly also whatever cold cure medication I knocked out before this show was recording. I am so sorry. Like I talked so much.
It's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. No, it's quite interesting that your partner, your boyfriend, has gone, this is weird that people want to take your photo and things like that. So yeah. I just want to quickly say about my favourite memory that's come from cosplay photography. And it's not actually the photography or anything like that. I think when I got asked to attend the Marvel Shang-Chi premiere.
Mm.
That for me felt like, I don't want to sound like I'm unappreciative or just sound like I was aiming for this, but it for me it felt like finally I've been recognized. Finally, in a sense, I've made it type of thing. That was like, this is the peak, because there's nowhere else as a photographer you can go. Yeah, I could start up a channel, this, that, and the other. I could be sponsored by these people, things like that. Yeah, that's a route to go, but I don't want to do that. This is a hobby for me. It'll always be a hobby. It's something I do in my spare time. That is it. But to be asked to go to a premiere, I felt so honoured and so thankful for it. It's like I got to spend it with people, both people I didn't and did know. There's a lot of people I didn't know actually, but it was nice again. Like I said in the main podcast, that I love meeting new people, and just to meet new people. There's a guy that I saw and I said, look, we need to do photos on location, and we're still planning it 2 years later. We keep saying this and we keep missing each other, and like he thinks I'm probably avoiding him. I was like, God damn it, I'm not.
That's just Christ. Adulthood. You say you're going to do something with somebody, and it takes you like 3 years to get around to it.
Oh, 100%. And it's like, it's something that I we're still planning, we're still going to do. But that day for me, it was so good. I got to meet majority of the cast of Shang-Chi, like Simu Liu. I don't know if you, sorry, unknown actress. I don't know if you know Michelle Yeoh. I don't know if you heard of her. She's an up and coming actress. Do you know what? Wasn't worth mentioning her name. She probably won't make much for herself these days now. And oh God, if that ever comes back to bite me on the arse.
Yeah, hey.
Goes, were you that guy that made that podcast extra? I was joking. It was a joke. It was a joke. That would be bad. No, but just to have that time with her. No, with God, Jesus Christ, that time.
Wow, Eddie.
Yeah, I know, right? No, but yeah, that for me just felt like I don't think anything else in the future could top that per se. I've there's times I've worked with some cosplayers that I've gone, oh my God, I don't think I've ever would have worked with or got to meet. And I think my other favorite memory is going to have to be New York Comic Con. I know I keep mentioning this, but it's the fact that I know that if I want to meet some of the people I talk to on social media, and that's another thing I love, it's social media. As much, again, going back to the narrative, I love talking to people. Being on social media has not limited to me like having friends within a 1 mile, 2 mile radius. It's not even being friends with someone within the British shores. I feel like I've got friends around the world, and it feels good to say that. I can go to New York Comic Con and I've got people who go, "Oh my God, Eddie, it's nice to see you again. God, that's good. That's how's it?" and things like that. And it's it's been really good to have that. But as I was saying, there are some cosplayers who I like see from afar and admire their work, and I'm going, "Oh my God, if only I can get to meet them and see them." Do you know what? If that's going to happen, I have to go to them rather than they come to me. So going to New York Comic Con for me, it's just a memory it will never leave me. Absolutely never leave me. So yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to think something else. No, I think that's it really. So yeah, those are my favorite memories. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I mean, does that resonate with you guys about what I've just said?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, like it's so great having that online community. Like as bad as social media can be, I personally wouldn't be without it, because I love the knowledge share and I love making the friends and having those almost like cheerleaders and friends that you've never met. And there's like someone I'll see who like lives in America and I've not met them, and I don't know if I'll ever get to America anytime soon, but I'll see them post their build and I'm like, hell yeah, look at you, like doing the thing. And I know they're competing in a time zone that's like 5 hours behind me or whatever, and I'm like, oh my God, I hope they're having a good day. Just that feeling of community is really worth it. Like,
no, absolutely, no, that's right. But talking about film premieres, you were invited to a film premiere as well. So why wasn't that like a a moment for you. But I mean, did you enjoy yourself firstly?
I did, with a caveat. So it was a year ago, and I went to the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness kind of fan screening. It wasn't like the official premiere, but it's the fan screening. And don't get me wrong, it was wonderful, and I love Doctor Strange. And it was one I'd really hoped I would be invited for if it was happening, and I did. Not the problem, but the problem was it was like really last minute. I was invited the night before, and like I said, I work evenings, so it was bang right when my shift was meant to start, like that I would have had to be there anyway. So I messaged my boss first thing, and I got the time off work. But this was nothing of the fault of the organisers or anything, but my boyfriend and I would always go see Marvel films together. Like, not so much with Phase 4. Like, we've not been loving it as much.
Yeah.
We always go, and we were both really looking forward to Doctor Strange. So I was like hyped to be invited, but I was like sad he couldn't make it, and he was happy for me, but he was also sad he couldn't come. And then it turned out I was talking to the guy who was organising the cosplayers, and there was a spare ticket for him, but he couldn't get the time off of work. And we went back and forth. We were chatting over it, and I was like, I'd still like to go. I was like, but I really want you to be able to come. And he was like, look, I'm not going to be able to get the time off. I can't get someone to cover me. Just go. And I had fun. And I, met one of my online friends there for the first time, and we had a great time together, and we're grabbing each other through the film and really hype. But in the back of my mind the whole time was like, my boyfriend would love this and he's not here. And it's not like we don't do things without each other, of course we do, but I was like, I wish I'd been able to share that moment with him, because he'd have absolutely loved that. So it's like I had fun, but also just by the nature of it, it was like, I kind of, the whole time in the back of my mind I was like, I wish he was here. And we did then go see it on release a couple of days later, and I didn't spoil anything for him, and I still enjoyed it as much as the first time around. But yeah, it was a bit like, I felt really guilty that he couldn't come, even though he was fine with me going, even though he was a bit sad to be missing it. So yeah, it was like a bit of back and forth. But then also comes into it again, I'm socially awkward. So a bunch of these people I knew of, we kind of knew each other online vaguely, not like proper online mates. I knew their handles. And I was just too bloody awkward to go up to them and be like, oh, hey, you're so-and-so. Yeah, I'm so-and-so. Chat. I was just stood there like a deer in headlights, okay. So I don't know, I sounded a little bit like Yoda. But I was like, I'd have probably also enjoyed myself more if I'd been less socially awkward and actually chatted to people rather than standing there going, well, I definitely know one person pretty well, so I'm just going to stand next to them like a shadow all night. Also, because I was asked to bring my cosplay, so I was asked to cosplay Captain Marvel, which is completely fine. Love Captain Marvel. My God, I can get in and out of it on my own, but it's a struggle. I couldn't go to the bathroom in it. So I spent a good couple of hours before the film and the entirety of the film, and then the hour it took me to get home, needing the bath. I couldn't go to the bathroom, so coming home I was just like, someone please just cut me out of this.
Just rip it off me, oh dear God.
I need the bathroom. But also, then you fall into the well, not everyone likes Captain Marvel. So then sometimes when we were all outside the venue and there was people asking for photos of the cosplayers, it was that whole thing of oh goody, I'm cosplaying the least favourite character, yay. But I don't care. I still love the character.
Yeah.
No,
that's
but it was that I'm just gonna stand over here. Hey, does anyone want to unzip me so I can? Never mind. Okay, I'm just gonna hold it.
Yeah.
just gonna hold it.
Well, just hold it. You just hold it. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Anyway, look, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. So thank you for being on the podcast extra. Thanks for sharing your memories. Gems, we'll get you on another time. Beth, so sorry.
See.
Yeah, we'll see. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye, and they're going to say so. Bye, guys!
Bye.
Bye-bye.